The Securities and Exchange Commission, or also known as SEC, issued a proposal. And if passed, it has the potential to destroy crypto technology without even addressing the terms DeFi or cryptocurrency. You may be wondering how this is even possible. Is this a miscalculation, deliberate ignorance, or something else entirely? The SEC's new proposal would broaden the definition of securities dealer to include treasury dealers, subjecting them to substantially more scrutiny. A US Treasury is essentially a loan to the US government in exchange for a low interest rate. And it comes out that nearly half of the trades in this market are executed by brokers who may require more oversight. Now, you're probably asking how this has anything to do with cryptocurrency. I mean, the proposal's title technically refers to government securities dealers, not cryptocurrency. It's all about the footnotes and fine print in this case. This regulation would pertain to any securities defined by the document, as well as any digital asset that is a security as recognized by the Securities Act, as stated in footnote 36. It implies that if a crypto service is proven to be a security, it will face significantly more regulation. This has far-reaching implications that go beyond major exchanges. Anything you do in DeFi will have an effect on you. Welcome to Cryptique, a channel that gives critical evaluation or analysis, especially in dealing with crypto. Everything regarding money, finance, investing, cryptocurrency, and blockchain-related topics, including ICOs, NFTs, and yield farming. But before we go any further, we need to define what security is in this situation. If we examine the concept of a security in the Securities Act of 1934, we can determine that it encompasses just about any investment that guarantees a profit. This is due to the Howey test, a four-part test that assesses whether or not something is a security. There's now a problem with the Howey test in crypto. The criteria is outdated, yet it's difficult to dispute that crypto services, such as lending or staking, aren't securities under these outdated rules. And if this idea is passed, it will provide just enough leeway to control crypto without really passing a crypto-specific bill analogous to a DeFi sneak attack. And before we get into how this affects you, it's vital to understand why the SEC appears to be both ready and not ready simultaneously. It's perplexing. The SEC's Gary Gensler reportedly suggested something about regulating crypto platforms. Those platforms should step forward, find out how to register, and be in an investment protection remit. Right now, not many have. What about Coinbase, who approached the SEC last year with their loan product, and you warned to sue them if they released it without any advice on what they should do? The SEC threatens to sue every time we ask what a securities dealer is. Sure, Gensler, you've asked crypto firms to step in and talk to you about it several times. Many of the companies that have been able to speak with you, however, have been the subject of enforcement measures or even legal actions shortly after. In December, Gensler pushed so far as to issue an ultimatum to crypto platforms. If you don't come to us, we'll go to you. On one hand, it's difficult not to be amused by the SEC's contradicting behavior in this case. On the other hand, it's a little scary that the SEC is compelling crypto businesses to come to their offices despite the fact that they have no structure for registering their offers as securities and no clear definition of what a cryptocurrency security is. It's like when you're a kid and you beg your mother if you may visit a classmate's house and she replies no. And you're like, "Why can't I stay at my classmate's house?" And she responds, "Because I said so." The thing is, This affects everyone who earns yield with crypto, whether through staking, mining, lending, or just about any creative use of DeFi. Returning to the proposal, it adds that Treasuries dealers would be required to officially register as securities dealers, implying a slew of new rules. However, anyone trading in digital assets, whether facilitating transactions, providing liquidity, or buying and selling securities for its own account, falls under this category. This means that anyone who operates a cryptocurrency service that generates income or conducts trades must register with the SEC. Stake pools, DEXs, and protocols in the tens of thousands, all reporting to the SEC. For the typical crypto user, this means that, due to increasing expenses, the yields on your favorite services, such as lending or staking, would certainly decrease. And there's a good chance that DeFi services will need sensitive information, such as a social security number, to utilize the service. Due to the difficulty of getting started, this would lead to people illegally accessing these services through VPNs, crypto companies migrating out of the US, and increasing centralization in the field. If it becomes more difficult to get started, you can anticipate that fewer and fewer businesses will enter the market. Overall, it's not that good. Now, if you're one of the two people in the audience who read the entire 200-page document, you could be thinking, wait a minute. Small providers might still have a chance because it clearly states that businesses with less than $50 million in assets are exempt from these requirements. You'd be correct, with the exception of footnote 97. This means that even if you own less than $50 million in assets, you can combine them with someone else's and have a total worth of more than $50 million. So, there's a legal issue where they may include almost anything if they choose to. For the time being, this plan is just that, a proposal. However, the SEC is believed to already have the jurisdiction to regulate cryptocurrency. When questioned if they possess that power, Gensler responds as follows: I believe we have substantial authority at the Securities and Exchange Commission, and we're going to utilize them and continue, he says. This is just one of the SEC's many dubious approaches to crypto. Why, for example, hasn't their litigation with Ripple been resolved yet? How come the several spot crypto ETFs have been approved or even denied? Grayscale, for example, has been seeking for years to convince the SEC to license their flagship fund, GBTC. The CEO stated that he is considering taking the Securities and Exchange Commission to court over the situation. What's more bizarre is that the SEC is worried about consumer protection. That is, after all, their entire job. More than 800,000 Americans, on the other hand, already possess GBTC with limited protections. The SEC's approval would provide better protection and a more secure access to something that is already in use. Again, it's incongruent. So, if you think this video has clarified some things for you, please consider liking it and clicking that bell button to be notified of our new videos. Also, you might want to consider subscribing to our channel. It'll really help us out. Back to our video. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not completely opposed to restrictions. I believe that well-informed and amended legislation specifically for crypto is a good idea. I'm all for more people having access to the space. I'm okay with additional safety and regulation if it means more people can benefit securely without compromising things like decent lending returns. There's no denying that we have issues with crypto. Consider what occurred to Axie Infinity recently. $625 million was taken in a mere second thanks to a Ronin vulnerability. It's not perfect if it's like the Wild West, with unlimited quantities of criminals and hackers trying to exploit flaws in blockchains every day. But that's when folks who don't know what they're talking about come in and say, "Hey, we've got a problem over here, so we'll need your help to govern the entire space in a broad manner." Iran and North Korea, for example, are known to employ cryptocurrency to avoid financial sanctions. It wasn't much that it ended out to be. It's a smaller portion than most people imagined. That type of argument may be made for anything. Let's eliminate cash because it's used to buy marijuana. I'm tired of all the Will Smith slap memes, so let's eliminate the internet. You can, however, make the opposing case. 90% of charitable contributions to Ukraine were made in cryptocurrency. So, there you have it. It's incredible if you simply gaze at it. That is simply not the case. Let's not construct regulation by picking and choosing what's good and what's terrible. Is this some sort of a crypto shadow attack? Is there a plot to take over and destroy the entire universe? I wish I have a definitive answer. What I can inform you is how this scenario negatively impacts both you and DeFi services. The backbone of DeFi is DEXs, or decentralized exchanges. You may purchase and sell just about every type of digital asset here. As a result, you have more opportunities to do other exciting things. Decentralized exchanges, contrast to centralized exchanges like FTX, use an automated market maker or AMM to match buy and sell orders. You might imagine it as a small robot that sorts transactions and matches buyers and vendors. You could currently clone the code of your favorite DEX, change it to your liking, and launch it. And presto, you're a DeFi operator. This isn't to say that you'll have users. Despite the fact that you will be a user, you will be an operator as well. This is fantastic because you don't need approval from anyone. Not the blockchain, not the government, and certainly not the DEX from which you copied and pasted their code. The shortage of permission has aided this space's rapid growth. That's why DeFi today is vastly different from what it was a year ago. However, unless changed, this new proposal would require you to apply and acquire a dealer application from the SEC in order to start a DEX. On one side, you can see the logic of wanting to ensure these platforms are being managed properly. However, on the opposite side, we've all interacted with the government or, at the very least, visited the DMV. We can envision how this could hold down innovation in the field, if that's any sign of how difficult it is to get certified by the SEC. And if things get too tough, you can bet that almost every cryptocurrency company will relocate to a more welcoming country. Whether we like it or not, crypto regulation will almost certainly come, but let's make sure it comes in a well-thought-out manner, not as the 96th footnote of an unrelated legislation. And with that, this concludes our video. Acquired a lot of knowledge from this? We recommend checking out our other relevant videos from our channel. Also consider sharing this video to any friends or family members who might find it useful. Until next time!